Hello and welcome to another episode of Stat Chat Sports, a brand new podcast where I talk all things sports. I'm your host, Johnny Petronas. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we have a very special and hyped up topic for you guys today where I'm going to be giving my thoughts of this star-studded, absolutely incredible USA Olympic basketball team. So, this team is just filled with NBA All-Stars, All-NBA talent, and just an overall impeccable roster that will be great in Olympic Games and overall in the Olympics this year. So, let's go over the roster with you guys right now. You got Bam Adebayo, Devin Booker, Stephen Curry, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, Anthony Edwards, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Halliburton, Drew Holiday, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, and Jason Tatum. So, as you can see, this team is filled with absolute stars, tons of scoring, some defense. It's just absolutely amazing. So let's dive right in and let's talk about this Olympics team. So I think the first thing that we definitely have to go over is the snub of Kyrie Irving. He's been on this team before, and I think he's a great player, and he definitely should have made the cut because he brings way more to the table than some of these other players. But I think he should have made it for sure. I thought he was going to make it because he was like top 10 or like borderline top 10 in scoring in the NBA this year. And I just feel like he brings a lot to the table for an Olympic team. But, I'm sure he'll be great for whichever country he plays for. I think it's Australia, but yeah, I think he's a great player and definitely should have made it. But they definitely brought in some better players to possibly replace him. Not as good as Kyrie Irving, but some great players for sure. When asked about the snub, Kyrie said,
I wish my brothers well, and I just didn't fit into this team, and I think the deliberation process was a tough one. But again, I have nothing but respect for those guys over at USAB. At this point in my career, I think my focus should be on winning the championship and, in the summertime, just going to support those guys when I get a chance. But yeah.
So while he may not have made it, he's very glad that others and people around him did. So that's great to hear. He may have gotten snubbed from this team, but he's still a great sport about the people that made it around him and the people that made it over him. Another big thing about this team that I noticed is Steph Curry and Kawhi Leonard are making their Olympic debuts. You think these guys are two NBA veterans and the multiple-time champions. I thought these guys would have way more than they have, but very, very surprising that it is both their first Olympics on Team USA. And I think there's going to be a lot more to come for Kawhi, maybe Steph Curry. But yeah, great to see that they're finally getting the Olympic respect they've deserved. And they're getting noticed for those finals MVPs that they have and the championships that they have. And I think they're going to be great. And they're going to make great impact on this USA team. One of the first things I noticed when I was looking at this team is that this USA team is an offensive powerhouse. Scoring will not be a problem at all, not with LeBron, Durant, Curry, Tatum, Booker, Embiid, and Davis leading the way. There's three-point shooting, low post options, playmaking, and versatility on this team. So the U.S. can play big or small with several rotation options. It will be on head coach Steve Kerr to find the best five-player options, but that is a luxury no other men's Olympic basketball coach will have. He has so many options for this amazing team. He has 14 impeccable players that can play a lot of times. They can play great big minutes, and they can play in clutch time. Any of these players can do that. So Steve Kerr's got a big job on his hands to pick a starting five. I think it's going to be very hard to do, but I'm sure he'll get a great starting five, as he's been a great coach for the Warriors, and he's just been a great coach overall for Team USA or any team that he coaches. Another thing about this team is not only is it an offensive powerhouse, you also have some pretty solid defense in this squad. With Bam, Anthony Davis, and Joel Embiid playing down low, rim protection most definitely will not be a problem. You also have Drew Holiday dominating the perimeter, and Kawhi Leonard can play just about anywhere on defense. So one thing that other countries that play USA will have to realize during the game is that post scoring isn't really an option against a defense like this. I don't know any country that will get by Bam, Anthony Davis, and Joel Embiid in the paint. They are just absolutely incredible. The great tall 7-footers, and I just think they're going to be great for sure for this U.S. team. I will say, while this team has a lot of strongs and positives, they do have one negative in my mind, is that there's absolutely no passing whatsoever. Other than Tyrese Halliburton, this is not a pass-heavy team at all. And there will be way too many shots and way too little passes. And I just think that the pass-to-shot ratio will be very bad. And it won't be what it should be. And I just think it might be a problem against aggressive defensive countries. Because if you don't have passing and everybody is just jacking up jump shots or mid-range or anything like that, it's going to be a lot harder to find other opportunities for other players to score because, like I said, this is an offensive powerhouse, but not a passing powerhouse. I mean, other than Tyrese Halliburton, none of these guys are really, pass players. These are all star players for their team, so they're known for taking shots. They're not known for giving out great passes or always passing or anything like that. While there are some great passers on this team, they're not going to be pass-heavy players for sure. They're going to be shooting players. So my final overall thoughts of this team is they most likely won't lose a game and will win gold for the 5th straight Olympics. They're great scoring overall and brought the right guys for the right purposes. Like I said, scoring, they brought in the perfect guys. Defense, they brought in the perfect guys. I mean, they brought in perimeter and inside post defense. So I think that won't be a problem at all. Like I said, very few passing could potentially hurt them, but most likely won't be a problem as long as some players are at least passing a decent amount, which I think they most likely will be. So they should be okay. That's all we have for this episode. Once again, thank you so much for watching and tuning in with us. And if you haven't seen the first episode about the history of Florida State football, you should definitely go check it out. If you're a Florida State fan, a college football fan, or even just a big sports fan, I'm sure you will love it. Stay tuned for more stats, predictions, and so much more. And be sure to check us out on Instagram and Podbean at StatChat Sports. We will see you on the next episode of Stat Chat Sports.